Going forward, we will not be releasing any further easy platinums. Having said that, we have 5 additional stroke games already approved and 1 additional easy game that will be released. But we will ensure they also have additional content flashing up the games too. So, now can you recall a few weeks ago Sony made an announcement saying that, you know, we're banning all these reskin easy platinum shovelware games? Well, one of the developers has reached out and they've made a post and they've apologized and they've said, like, look, I know what I did, but I'm not a bad guy, we're not a bad company. So in this video, I'm going to be reviewing their apology. I'm going to see if it justifies their shitty behavior and if it's a genuine apology, which I doubt. So I found out about this apology through Dex.Exe. This is their website, shout out to them. Shovelware developer apologizes for spamming the PlayStation Store, kinda. So what happened is they actually posted on the PSNP profiles forum, so they kind of made a little post so some trophy hunters would see it, not everybody. But thankfully, more are going to see it now because of this. I hope. If people watch me on YouTube, right? Okay, so I'm back with the mouse on the chest because I'm too far away from the table. Yeah, so my chest is the human mouse pad. So yeah, the developer GameAchievements Ltd, who've been making the Stroke the Blah games, apparently. Never heard of these games until this post, but here we go, have apologized. Okay, so what games do they actually make? Okay, so this is... These are the games that they make. Stroke the yada yada yada. Stroke the fish, stroke the tortoise, stroke the hamster, stroke the cat. I feel like that was a wrong word there. Come on. Why is it all stroke the cat and never stroke the snake? Stroke the python, stroke the pipe, stroke the Toblerone, stroke the broom. It's always stroke the cat, never stroke the cylinder-shaped objects. So what GameAchievements have done is they have basically taken the My Name is Mayo strat and just applied it to lots of different things, lots of different reskins, and they've made, look at all of those filthy stacks, EU twice, PS4, PS5, the Asian store, North American store, Japanese store. Okay, so it took a bit of digging, but I managed to find the forum, so prepare yourselves, cue some ominous or evil villain music, probably, if I know how to edit. Good morning. Morning. I want to make a little thread as an open letter to the community and to allow a little more insight into what we are doing at GameAchievements Ltd. Alright. Firstly, I will get the rather large elephant out of the room. We made shovelware. This is not something we deny, and it is not something that we are going to dispute. It is, however, something that we have learned from. Right, so they've learned through it by everybody kicking off, saying that's bad, and then Sony banning them. That's how they've learned from it. Because they can no longer release those type of games, they have learned from it. I don't think that's genuine learning. I think that is literally someone just writing something somewhat genuine when it does not appear that way whatsoever. Stroke the pencil would be a better game than whatever you've already made. Stroke the Blah games were low effort games created by us. Reasons behind their creation vary, but ultimately they make no difference. Dollar bills, yo. Dollar bills. Exploit trophy hunters with cheap shit. That was the motivation. That was the reasoning for it. There's no other way for it. They're not even games. They were made in a way that should not have been. For that, we are sorry for clogging up certain sections and the PSN store as a whole. Okay. So you're not apologising for making bad games. You're just apologising for spamming and ruining people's experience of the store? Right. However, we do not believe in removing history. We believe in improvement. Hell yeah. That's inspirational. We won't be removing the Stroke the games from the market. We will, however, be adding them to ensure that there's additional content within the games. This can be seen with the addition of the quiz sections, with more coming to adding additional gameplay elements in order to show there's more value. So you're going to add a quiz to it. Right? Who the fuck cares, man? Going forward, we will not be releasing any further easy platinums. Having said that, we have 5 additional stroke games already approved and 1 additional easy game that will be released. But we will ensure they also have additional content flashing up the games too. Oh, right, okay, so they haven't learned. So this is the thing. If you knew what you were doing was wrong, you would stop those games. You would just take them off the market. You wouldn't release them. So they haven't learned at all. They're just being like, oh, we're being caught. We're being caught, guys, but you know, these ones are coming out anyway, so you know, rather than having integrity and taking them off, we're gonna release them anyway because dollar bills, yo, sweet dollar bills. We have a number of games in the work which will release next year. These will be full titles which actually require effort and include gameplay in order to complete. So they're just saying like, we know these games are not even games. They've just said we'll include gameplay, implying that they know these games that they've released were never ever games. They never included gameplay. Oh my days. We have a number. Once again, we apologise for the games we put out so far, and we're continuing to work on them to get them to a more acceptable level. Well, If you're apologising for them being bad and being unacceptable, then why are you releasing 5 more of these games just because they're approved? Like, jeez. Thanks for your time, and hopefully we'll be able to improve what we are a little more than just shovelware creator. Okay, what are your thoughts on that? Let me know down below what you think of that apology. I'm going to give that apology a 0 out of platinum. I'm going to give it a 0 out of everything. It's an awful apology, that, and the fact that, like, they haven't even done it anywhere else other than the PSNP forums, like, oh yeah, we've apologised to a select few, and that's really it. It's there's no genuineness in that apology, and clearly this is a terrible developer and all they care about is money, and there's no integrity there, because if this apology was genuine, they wouldn't then release these 5 more games that they've already prepared. Bear in mind, guys, these games have taken them probably an afternoon to make. They're just reskinning games, and that is exactly what Sony have said that they're trying to get rid of, and I kind of agree with what they're saying about we shouldn't have history removed. I kind of get that, because essentially what's happened is, really, they've been cancelled. These type of games have been cancelled, and now it's like, do we remove them from the store to remove genuine not even genuine, to remove games that were part of the PlayStation history? I don't know about that, but the reality is they should never have been released, because they're not even games, and they've even admitted by saying they're going to release new games going forward that have gameplay, and the developers know they're not games. We know they're not games. I would never have looked favourably upon these type of developers for what they've done. All they've done is they've seen a niche community which they knew they could exploit, and they've turned out these garbage games and probably made tens of thousands of pounds or dollars from just reskinning games and being able to get away with it because some people are addicted to these platinums and keep buying them. I think that's absolutely the worst apology imaginable, other than being abusive to their fans. I want to look at this guy's PSN. What we got? Date. This user was requested to be removed and cannot be tracked. So people have complained so much about the guy's PSN profile that PSNPs have taken them off the actual leaderboards and you can't even view their accounts. That's funny. Okay, so I want to have a quick look and see how people have actually responded to this. It's nice that you came to this conclusion and this new methodology going forward completely independently and organically, and in no way as a necessity resulting from the newly implemented Sony policies that you yourself are the principal catalyst for. Well said, Dr. Blood Money. There's just no genuineness here from the developers, and there's no integrity, clearly. People don't go into game development unless they've got a passion for it, right? Surely. Because you don't go, oh, what I want to do, I'm going to become a game developer. You have to have a passion for gaming, but then you then go on to make games that are awful. You know they're awful, but you make a quick buck from them, so it's okay. Making quick bucks and selling out always comes back to bite you in the ass, and this is a prime example of what's happened to this developer. Stygian Wolf. Looks like you found something new to stroke. Your ego. Well, not as good as stroking a Toblerone, I have to say, but you know, stroking your ego is something good. Okay, so Silver Chariot said, since you are the dev and talking openly, would you mind sharing some stats with us? How many games are sold? How much time does it take to release a shovelware game? How much profit do you make for each copy sold? How did you come up with the idea? Are you a real company or just one guy in their parents' garage? I like to know this stuff. I would really be interested in that as well. And they've come back and said, oh, sorry, but we cannot give due to disclosure agreements. What? Yes, it's a real company. The first part of creating a game takes a couple of hours. Then there's another few hours doing the back-end stuff for Sony systems. Overall, quick and simple game will take about 6 to 8 hours to make. As for the numbers sold, I cannot say. Not that I don't want to, but simply we do not know at the moment. Happy to give numbers once we know them. Of course you would know them. How would you not know them? Obviously, you're getting the checks from them. You can work out from that after Sony take the cut how many games you've sold. But the fact it takes 8 hours to make these games is a prime example of why nobody should be buying them. Because you're taking money out of indie developers' pockets who are making genuine games. There's people out there who've spent 6 months to 12 months to 2 years making a small indie game, just them and their friend, or just them alone. They're releasing it for £7, £8, and because it's a 10-hour platinum, they're just not getting a sniff in because these type of games are popping up and people are spending their money there. And this is a problem people seem to forget, and this is why I never ever criticize somebody for playing these games. I criticize the developers for releasing them and exploiting people for them, and it takes money away from genuine games and genuine products that are being released every day on the PlayStation Store, and these are just an absolute tragedy. They're a travesty to even be here, and that is why literally games are failing every day. And they're genuinely great games, and people are not buying them because people are buying this absolute shite. I really hope people learn to not support these type of games, not because of the platinum or anything like that. It's because you shouldn't be supporting people without integrity that are just making games, churning them out just to take your money. That's all they're doing for. There's no passion there, there's no love, there's no care for the consumers. It's just all about money for them. He then replied saying, that's some really low effort for good money. I can't blame you for abusing the system. Did you enjoy hunting trophies privately before starting the whole thing? I can blame them for abusing the system, because what about integrity? What about morals? like releasing these type of games, and it's clear by these people admitting that the games are all awful, but then releasing 5 more games, that they have no integrity. Integrity, doing what's right. What about that? I hate when people say things like, oh, I can't blame you because it's quick money. Well, I can have some integrity and say, you know what, this isn't right to do, and even though I can make a bit of money, I'm still not going to do it, because that's who I am as a person, and I want to be a good person. And I would argue, I'm not saying anybody's a bad person, but people making these decisions definitely puts a negative light on them. From me, in my opinion of them, is obviously my opinion doesn't matter, but I know there's lots of people who feel the same. The other developers looking down at them for doing this. It's just not on. Okay, so Slippy Jimmy says, firstly, I think Game Achievements deserve some kudos for being upfront and taking the heat here. There's many other spam developers which have just said nothing. They've been around longer and they haven't taken any responsibility for it. And there's far worse games flooding the market. That is a very valid point by Slipping Jimmy. Like, we'll have to give them a little bit of kudos, but I just think that apology was just underwhelming in every way. They should have said, look, we did it. It was wrong. We did it to make cash. We didn't realize what we were doing. We're sorry about it, and we're going to stop making these games now. Not in 2 months' time when our next 5 games get out. After we get another 2, 3, 4, 5 grand, we'll then stop doing it. It's like, no. If you're wrong, you stop it now. You don't say, oh, I'm wrong. That is the problem with the apology. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter why we did it. We'll know why you did it. Cha-ching! Straight Veg says, I mean, if you folks happen to release some decent action platforming games at a reasonable price, I'd probably buy them. Nice to know you're a simp, bro. A game company releases awful games, you're like, oh yeah, but if it's good, I might buy it. I mean, that's totally fair, if it's decent, but I'll be like, nah, like, is it going to be decent? Actually, please just look at the reviews before you buy these sort of games. Cloud2049 said the best, just stop, your shit has ruined trophy collection. But the reality is, these games have come in and they have ruined trophy hunting for a lot of people, because literally, I know somebody who joined my Discord who went to prove a point, he got 1,000 platinum trophies in, I think it was 60 days, and it was like staggering how many he was getting, but he's like, look, I proved you could do it. Like, it's awful at the moment, and I agree, it is, and it's like, it just devalues everything, and I think people just don't care about it, and I know a lot of people don't care about it. You know, us trophy hunters gotta stick together, because not only do Sony not really give a shit about them, clearly there's developers out there which saw it as a way to make some fast cash, and we know that already. You know, there's tens of them at this point making all these games, and it ain't cool really, is it? Like, and you know, I played these games and I was definitely in some sort of addictive state. Like, I've got quite hyper focus, and I look back and I don't regret the games, I don't regret the platinums, but I do regret supporting the developers, because some of those games I did play, like Daggerhood, like Concept Destruction, those games that had gameplay in them. I can say I've only probably played maybe 3 or 4 games like this throughout all my trophy hunting days, maybe a little bit more, and I regret those ones, even though it was funny and they're a bit memey every now and then. Like, you know, My Name is Mayo, like, even My Name is Mayo 2 and 3 have progressed so much more than what My Name is Mayo was. My Name is Mayo was literally just tap the jar. My Name is Mayo 2 had like Flappy Mayo, and My Name is 3 had The Journey, even though it was pretty rubbish. Like, they still tried to progress to something. Game Achievements, I'm not convinced of this apology. And I said it's a 0 out of 10. 0 out of platinums, it ain't getting an apology. So if you like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. We gotta stick together as trophy hunters, because even the developers are after us. Peace.